Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? I'm super excited for this video because we're going to be reviewing and ranking every single Adept palette. I've got them all here, including my collaboration, but I just thought it would be fun to kind of share my current rankings because I have ranked these in the past, but obviously they've come out with a bunch of new palettes. They're all so beautiful. I will just say, like, I feel like quality is amazing across the board. So a lot of my favorites, it really just depends on the shimmer to matte ratio, the color story, more along that term. So if you're looking at any of their palettes and you're like, oh wow, that's beautiful, that's completely me, and I'm ranking it super low, it probably is still amazing quality. I'd say go for it. But I thought we could swatch out some of my favorite shades as well as we go through and just, you know, have a little Adept moment because I'm still like just so excited about my collaboration. I think it's just so beautiful. I'm so excited just every single day seeing all of your looks and just everything you tag me in on Instagram, your comments. Let's start ranking. So in 17th place, we have the Coden palette, and this is gonna be my least favorite palette from Adept. I feel like there's a lot of really dark shimmers in here. You got like this hot pink, this teal. I feel like this has never been a standalone palette, but it's also just, I don't feel super inspired by this color story. I'm more likely to just grab one shade here and there. It's still really pretty for sure, and the shimmers are still really nice. They have a beautiful texture to them, but I don't know. This palette just, it doesn't do it for me the way that their other ones do. So it was actually very easy to put this one into 17th place. So in 16th place, we have the Seahorse palette. I'm going to try and mention each time whether the palette I'm talking about is still available or not. So Coden is no longer available, but the Seahorse palette actually is in stock right now. It just says that there's only low stock left. And for me, I didn't love this palette as much just because it is very expensive. I'm pretty sure that this is the most expensive palette Adept has ever done. It's $125 for 15 shades. And I'm not gonna lie to you, they are cute, they're beautiful, lots of really pretty light duochromes, like a very cute palette, 100%. My issue was just that I felt like it was such a price increase, and from the side of the user, I didn't really see that the quality was so much better or different than their other palettes. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like this is beautiful. I feel like if this was like $89, like some of my other favorite palettes I'm going to mention from them, I would be more about it. But I just thought it was really expensive. And there's also two shades here that look so similar. You can see they're right next to one another, just practically the same shade. So for that reason, this has been one of my least favorite palettes from them. Not in terms of using it, but definitely in terms of recommending it or like thinking about quality versus how much you're paying. But the shades are stunning. Like there's one right here called Tiger Tail, just beautiful. Got Paradoxical. I love this one as well. You're not gonna go wrong with the shades, not by any means. Like I don't think that you would buy this palette and dislike it. I just think that there's other palettes I would buy first from Adept, and you could get more bang for your buck with some of the other palettes. However, these are very pretty duochromes. Like if you love pastel duochromes, then maybe this palette could be worth it for you. I mean, so pretty. So next in 15th and 14th place, we have the Amunet palettes. So we've got the Amunet New, which is the old version, and this is the dark version. There was a dark and a light, which I did really enjoy. There were, I think, 2 shades out of each palette that were slightly different, you know, just depending on your skin tone, depending on your preference, you could choose whichever. So this was the dark version, and it is a really beautiful palette. I love the cool tones. So I would say that was 15, and then 14 would be the new Amunet because I liked this one more. This is the light version. I just thought that the formula seemed like it was a little bit better. I have an old video where I went like really in depth comparing the old ones and the new ones in the dark and the light both. Looking at it, it seems like a palette I would love, but I just ended up not reaching for this one as much long term. I like the mattes in here more than the shimmers in a way. Like the shimmers are pretty, but for me the mattes really stood out, which is strange for an Adept palette because normally when I'm thinking Adept, I'm like all about their shimmers. Their shimmers are where they just sparkle, you know, no pun intended. So this is going to be number 14, and the Amunet palettes are no longer available. At least they're not on the website as of right now. In 13th place, we have the Ninhydrin palette, and this is available by itself, and you can also get it in a bundle with the Minka palette. It's called the Bestsellers bundle, and it makes it like an even better price. So I'll mention that again when we get to Minka, but here is Ninhydrin. I really like this one. I really like the shimmers that are in here. I think there's a lot of really pretty cool tones. It's not ranked higher up just because a lot of these shimmers are a little bit on the deeper side, and I feel like I like more of a bright shimmer. But also, oh my gosh, I have a hair like stuck in here. Go figure. I think that this palette would be so beautiful with my collaboration. So yes, that is 13th place. In 12th place, I'm gonna go for the House of Elle palette, and this is no longer available, but this is the only palette that Adept has done in this like little 9-pan packaging, and I really love this one. It actually does not have a mirror to it, but this is a great little palette. I feel like the shimmers in here are so stunning. I think this has to be your color story for sure. You have to like those like really bright orangey sunsetty colors, and you have to like bright makeup to like this palette, because even this shade that looks kind of like neutral peachy, it's pretty bright on the eyes. I think it's so cute. I think it's so nice. I'm sad that it was available for such a limited time, but I will show you. Like, these are just, oh my gosh, like look at that orange, the peach. Oh my gosh. They're still so buttery soft, so metallic. In 11th place, we have the Lassia Nea palette, and this is a nice one. It's a little bit more on the boring side as far as Adept's color stories go, but I still really like it. You've got so many nice neutral options in here. So I feel like this is a really great companion palette to have if you love Adept and you're trying to do a bunch of Adept things together. These mattes really add a lot to their other eyeshadow palettes, and the shimmers here are super, super pretty. Obviously, I just keep swatching the shimmers because I can't help myself. These all have like a really beautiful blue undertone to them, but they're gorgeous. I feel like you can do any neutral look and then just have the most amazing shimmer on. Super easy. Next, we have the Arrow inspired palette, and I don't see this on the website anymore, so I don't think it's available, but this is a really beautiful, colorful, very green color story. I think the greens and the blues are super, super pretty here, and I love the vibes together. Again, I feel like you have to love color to really enjoy this palette, but the textures are stunning. It's a really, really nice one. In 9th place, we have the Element 115 palette, and I absolutely love the packaging on this. I just think it's so cute. And this palette is still available. It's in stock on the website right now, and I really, really love it. Again, I love the coordinating mattes in this one. I love that you have some really nice depth with this shade right here called Specimen as well. And, ooh, it sounds like it's about to storm. I love all of the shimmers in here. This is like a really pretty kind of blue, purple, teal color story. It's definitely giving like 80s workout, exercise video. Like, I have a specific color story in mind that always makes me think of that, and this is definitely it. I love the name. I love the theme. I think it's so fun. So yeah, I really, really like this one. In 8th place, we have the Cyberg Choir palette, and this is ranked according to how much I use it, but I will say that this is a very special palette, and I think that if you're looking for recommendations for Adept, this is one I would recommend with my full chest, simply because, let me see, what is the price of this one? It is $79. It's available now. It's in stock. Love the packaging of this. Love the cotton candy vibes. So, so cute. The reason this palette is so special is because almost every single shimmer in here is a holographic shadow. I feel like you're just getting so much bang for your buck. They are so beyond beautiful. Like, the mattes are nice. The color story is nice. I don't actually like this shade Cyber Symphony that much. I feel like it's a little chunky. a little bit hard to apply even with a finger because of the chunky texture, but all of the other shimmers are so pretty. Like, just to show you, they're shifty, they're multi-chromy, they're holographic. They are so beautiful in person. Of course, I would get that on my hand, but they're truly so special. So much bang for your buck with this one. The color story I think is pretty. I like the pop of yellow. I like the way it looks with everything, like, but it's not necessarily like my dream color story, which is why it's ranked at, you know, 8, which is still like kind of in the middle there. But as far as the formula goes on this one, it is spectacular. In 7th place, we have the Minka palette. I really love this one. If you love neutral shadows, but you love sparkle and glam, then this is the palette for you. It is so pretty. I will say that the Minka formula is a little bit different than majority of their other palettes. There's some like really thick, sparkly shadows in here. Like, they almost feel like they're like a pressed glitter, but they are not. They are not a pressed glitter. I love it. I love how these look. Like, they just stand out so much in any look. Here, we'll do Minka right here. They are amazing. I might just start swatching some on my arm here. Shout out to the thunder in the background, but they just are so pretty. Also do really well with a glitter primer. I will say, I would not use these particular shadows without glitter primer. But I mean, look at that. A metallic dream. And Minka is available on the website right now. It is $58. It's in stock. And like I said, if you decide to purchase Minka and Ninhydrin together, they're in a bundle called the bestseller bundle. And you can get both of these for $90, taking them down to $45 each. I'm not sure if affiliate codes will apply on top of that or not, but it's a pretty good deal. Okay, so in 6th and 5th place, we're gonna have to do the Plain Jane palettes. So this was the original Plain Jane. This was not the first eyeshadow palette that Adept ever did. They actually had some baked eyeshadow palettes. I wanna say maybe, was it like 2015? They had baked eyeshadow palettes forever ago. But this was their first palette in this packaging, and it's like really the palette that set them off as a brand, other than like their magnetic palettes. So this is a beautiful collection of duochromes, and they're just like the most pretty sparkly shadows, just so easy to work with. They have a remastered version, which is basically just, you know, the same shades but updated. Again, I do have a full comparison video I can link for you in case you're curious. And I do really like the remastered, but there's just something about the original. So if you're asking, oh, this is 6th place, this is 5th place, because I still just love the original with all my heart. I think it might be the bigger pans. Like, they just look so satisfyingly beautiful. They're like these like translucent bases, but they just look so sparkly. And literally, this palette is pretty dang old, and it still feels creamy to the touch. Like, can't get over it. However, this palette has been gone for a hot minute, and the Plain Jane Remastered palette is no longer on the website. So, se fue. In 4th place, we have the Flying Fiddles palette, and I will tell you what, this palette has been growing on me, because when I originally got this, and I actually did do an overhead video just like this, swatching every single shade in this palette. I'll try and make sure to link all of the videos that are about Adept that I've ever done in case you want to watch more from me. But when I first got this and I played with it, I was like, this is not what I expected. I actually thought, swatching it out, that it was not very impressive. I thought the shimmers were just like a little bit more lackluster, like just not what I normally expect from Adept. However, I will say that they actually look so beautiful on the eyes. I feel like they don't swatch as pretty, but they're a little bit easier to use. They're easier to pick up with an eyeshadow brush, and they still look super sparkly, super pretty, especially if you use a glitter glue or you wet your brush, you know, you don't have to. I feel like if you are a neutral lover and you also like your makeup to be a little bit more simple, a little bit more fast, like this is just the perfect combination from Adept. In third place, we have the Samaran Sunset, and I love this palette. This is fall in a palette to me. These are the most beautiful tones. I love the mattes that are in here because I feel like they're very interesting tones. I do wish we had one more matte that was like a little bit deeper, that added some more depth to the palette. But overall, we have so many multi-chrome shimmers in this palette. Like, they are just beautiful. We've got some holographic shadows. Like, I just think that this is the prettiest fall palette. If you love like rusty, orangey shades, this is stunning. And it's kind of silly, but the mirror says the best of both worlds. And I'm sure that that has something to do with Star Trek, but in my mind, this is very Hannah Montana. Like, they are just so pretty. Like, look at that. So in second place, we have the Heather Austin palette in collaboration with Adept. I love this palette. It is so beautiful. Again, giving all the fall vibes to me. But then you've also got so many pretty shimmers. I love that you can go this like berry purple route. I love that you can do such like bright and grungy yellowy green looks. Like, I feel like for the formats that were chosen, they're so versatile and it's just beautiful. I especially love, I'm going to show you these three shimmers right now. I could genuinely swatch every shade in this palette as a favorite, but my tippity top would be these shimmers right here, because I feel like they're that in between of like a color and a neutral. They're just so easy to pull off and so pretty, and just like you can wear them up or you can wear them down for a very simple neutral look. I just find myself reaching for them again and again, like 06, 03. Too beautiful. Too beautiful. Can't do that to me, Heather. So pretty. And in first place, you know, there's just not a lot of anticipation here because obviously it's going to be my collaboration with Adept. I know that I'm biased, but obviously this is my dream color story, my dream palette, so of course it's going to be my number one. We've got the most beautiful sparkly glam packaging and then my perfect cool tone color story. And I feel like my favorites in this palette are constantly changing. If you asked me a month ago, I would have said pink, but recently it's actually been floral. I feel like this is such a pretty like in between of pink and neutral. I've been wearing it so much. I wore this with 1997 when I got engaged, and I feel like it's such a pretty soft neutral look without being like bam cool tones. I just think it's so cute. So that has been my favorite. And then of course Stunning. I feel like Stunning is a forever favorite just because it's the most beautiful metallic silver. And then Lavender. I feel like Lavender is y'all's favorite. Like, from all the comments and everything that I've got and, you know, reviews I've been watching, so many people have been mentioning that they love Lavender and Pisces and Indie the most. I would say those three shimmers, but majority Lavender because it's got this beautiful teal base. It's got green, it's got gold, it's got pink. Obviously it has lavender in it as well. It's just such a pretty multi-chrome. I don't think that I will ever stop obsessing over this palette. Okay, my camera decided to cut out right as I was swatching those, but I promise that's one swatch. That's what it looks like. So there is a bunch of my favorite shades from Adept and all of the palettes ranked. I would love to know if you've tried Adept, what is your favorite palette? Or if you haven't tried them, which one are you most looking forward to trying, hoping to get your hands on one day? And I will see you again very soon. Bye!